President Trump did a rally yesterday, and during the rally, he doubled down on some comments that he made 2 weeks ago in private. Now, when I originally discussed this story, a lot of people were like, no, it doesn't sound believable. Doesn't sound believable. I don't think he actually said that. I don't think he actually believes that. And, I got a decent amount of shit for even reporting on it. But, I thought from reading the original story that it sounded like Donald Trump. Well, now we know that the story was definitely true because look at what he says on the issue of drugs.
We're going to build a wall, and we have to build a wall. For people, for gangs, for drugs. The drugs has never been a problem like we have right now. And by the way, like the world has. Do you think the drug dealers that kill thousands of people during their lifetime, do you think they care who's on a blue ribbon committee? The only way to solve the drug problem is through toughness. When you catch a drug dealer, you gotta put him away for a long time. When I was in China, and other places, by the way, I said, Mr. President, do you have a drug problem? No, we do not. I said, big country, 1.4 billion people, right? Not much of a drug problem. I said, what do you attribute that to? Well, the death penalty. So, hey, if you're a drug dealer and you know you're going to get caught and you know that you're going to kill people, you're killing our kids. They're killing our kids. They're killing our kids. They're killing our families. They're killing our workers. But I said to the president, I said, so you don't have much of a problem? No. And they had a problem. If you go back 200 years ago, and they know all about drugs. It was devastating to China. The opium, devastating. It destroyed China. And I'm not going to let it destroy us. And there was an article in one of the main papers. Maybe it was the failing New York Times. It's one of them. And I don't even know where they get it. Because honestly, I don't know that the United States, frankly, is ready for it. They should be ready for it. But at a minimum, you have to give long, tough sentences. But if you go to Singapore, I said, Mr. President, what happens with your drugs? No, we don't have a problem, President. I said, really, what? We have a zero tolerance. And he's not playing games. These guys don't play games. We have a different type of people. They don't play games. I said, how are you doing on drugs? No problem. I said, what do you mean no problem? And that's entertainment. A lot of things are happening. I said, what do you mean no problem? We have a zero tolerance policy. What does that mean? That means if we catch a drug dealer, death penalty. That's it. And they don't have a problem. Now, remember this. If somebody goes and shoots somebody or kills somebody, they go away for life, and they can even get the death penalty, right? One person. They shoot one person, they get the death penalty. They shoot one person, kill some person, knife one person, the person dies. They get maybe the death penalty or maybe life in prison, no parole, right? Okay? A drug dealer will kill 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people during the course of his or her life. Thousands of people are killed, or their lives are destroyed, their families are destroyed. So you can kill thousands of people and go to jail for 30 days. They catch a drug dealer, they don't even put him in jail. Think of it. You kill one person, you get the death penalty in many states. Or you get life imprisonment. Think of it. You kill 5,000 people with drugs because you're smuggling them in and you're making a lot of money and people are dying and they don't even put you in jail. They don't do anything. But you might get 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You might get a year. But you're not going to get... And then you wonder why we have a problem. That's why we have a problem, folks. And I don't think we should play games.
He's praising countries that execute drug dealers. It's not up in the air. It's not questionable. It's not a matter of conjecture. It's not me reading too much into the situation. He's praising countries that execute drug dealers. It gets even scarier. They are literally looking into how to do this legally. They've spoken to officials from Singapore and said, we like what you do. We think we want to try this. Guys, this is why Donald Trump, he was praising Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines, the leader of the Philippines. Duterte is currently waging a genocide against drug dealers and drug users. There's been thousands of people who've been murdered because they're shooting drug users in the street. And Rodrigo Duterte doesn't even hide this fact. He's proud of it. He's proud of it. In fact, there are quotes of him saying, I really want the people who are the family members of the drug users to execute them, but I don't think they have the heart to do it and execute their own loved ones. So that's why we need the police officers to do it. And don't worry, if you do it, we're not going to crack down on you. If you do it, we want that. Donald Trump is looking at these authoritarian strongmen dictators and going, yes, that's what I want. That's what I love. So look at this. This is deeply authoritarian, deeply tyrannical, deeply dictatorial. And if you're somebody who considers yourself a Republican or a small government conservative, you have to understand that this is the biggest government imaginable. Executing people for selling a substance that tweaks your consciousness. I've never seen a single comment from a U.S. president that's more anti-freedom than that. I mean, you know freedom has a definition, right? I mean, I know politicians love to throw that around just willy-nilly, like, oh, I believe in freedom, 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 freedom. Well, here you have an example of the exact opposite of freedom. Donald Trump wants to take away all of your freedom to be able to tweak your consciousness. And understand, of course, Donald Trump, since he's a clown and he's an idiot and he's not smart and he's certainly not objective, he doesn't realize that the framework of his own society accepts certain substances. So, for example, alcohol is a substance. Alcohol is a drug. You know, caffeine's a drug. A lot of people don't think of caffeine like that, but it is a drug. As is Red Bull. As is Xanax that you get from a pharmaceutical company. So, if you're talking about executing drug dealers, would you execute the CEO of Budweiser? Would you execute, people who import and sell coffee? Would you execute the head of a pharmaceutical company? Merck. Would you go, knock down the door of the CEO of Merck's house or the owner of Merck or the owners and drag them out? Would you go execute the head of Purdue Pharma? Now, listen, when you bring it up in that context, everybody recoils and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So you're going to have somebody selling a product which people buy willingly of their own volition. Hey, I'm going to go get this substance because I want to have a few beers tonight, or I want to have some wine tonight, or I want to have a couple shots of Jack, or whatever the fuck. People willingly get that, and then you're going to maybe execute the person who's selling it. I can't think of anything more immoral than that. But Donald Trump thinks this is a good idea, and this isn't me reading in between the lines or looking too far into it. This is what he thinks. This is what he thinks. And what's hilarious is he doesn't understand the system that we currently have actually leans in the direction of what he wants to do. So I don't know if you heard of this thing, Don, but we have the war on drugs going on. We've wasted over $1 trillion in the war on drugs. So wasted over $1 trillion. We jail more people than every other country. You have, millions probably of people, at least hundreds of thousands of people, probably millions of people behind bars for non-violent drug offenses. So in other words, people who aren't actually criminals, they didn't do anything violent, they didn't break any laws that really should be laws, and they're, locked up behind bars right now. We have tens of thousands of people who've died in the war on drugs because it's a literal hot war on the border with Mexico. And then, by the way, you also make the drug cartels much more powerful because of the drug war. Because you make the substance illegal, you push it underground, and then guess what? The only people who are selling drugs like marijuana and cocaine are drug cartels. So they have a monopoly on all the money, and that's why they get really powerful. That's what happened with the mafia during Prohibition. The mafia were the only people selling it and providing it, and so they got really, really, really rich. So in an attempt to crack down on crime and have law and order, you actually made crime worse. You made crime worse because you gave the bad guys all the money and all the power. That's what's happening now with the drug cartels. And this idiot is like, isn't it? Yeah, we need a zero tolerance policy. What the fuck do you think it is when you have more people locked up in the U.S. than anywhere else in the world? You wasted over $1 trillion on the drug war. Drugs are illegal. Marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug, which is comical because Schedule 1 means there's not even the potential for a medical purpose. Not even the potential for a medical purpose. Comical, laughable, ridiculous. So we already lean in the direction of his dumbass ideas. And he's like, we should go further. Oh my God. By the way, Richard Nixon, one of his top officials came out recently and said, hey, you do know that we did this specifically to crack down on black people, specifically to crack down on hippies, white hippies, because we wanted to criminalize their lifestyle because we knew they weren't our constituency. They admitted this. They're on the record saying the drug war wasn't for morality. We didn't care about that. We wanted to crack down on deviant populations. Oh, God. And now Donald Trump's saying, well, execute them, kill them, kill them. Kill them for being free people, making free decisions as to what to do with their body and selling products, providing a service in the marketplace that other people want. Kill them. Yes. Well, that is just as crazy as talking about killing the CEO of Budweiser. That sounds like a crazy, insane, wild, authoritarian, tyrannical, genocidal idea, because that's what it is. And it'd be the same for, people who sell drugs. For people who sell marijuana. I mean, get the fuck out of here, man. Wow. Executing drug dealers. I've never seen a more authoritarian take than that. And by the way, it's not even true. There's no problem in other countries. Well, first of all, even if it were true that there's no problem in other countries, you just took away everybody's freedom. And you don't live in a free society. That's like saying, okay, we could have a total and utter police state where there are people with, where there are police officers with assault weapons at every single fucking corner, and we shut down all bars in the country, and, we have a total lockdown on the police state in a sci-fi type future, in a futuristic movie where it's like, there are no rights, none whatsoever. So, okay, you could potentially, find a way to reduce crime like that, but is that a desirable situation? Is that how we want to live? So sacrifice all of your freedom, all of your enjoyment, all of your pleasure for this perceived idea of increased safety. Why not put everybody in a fucking straitjacket and put them in a padded room and say, see, you're happy here. There's no crime that exists in that fucking little padded room that you're in. So even if it were true that, these other countries don't have a problem because they execute people, even if it were true, it's a dumb idea. But it's not even true. In fact, you want to know how one country that's done fantastic with this issue of drugs? Portugal. How did that happen, Kyle? They decriminalized all drugs. They decriminalized all drugs. They had a drug scourge, an epidemic there. Now they're one of the better countries. And they don't have nearly as big of a problem because they decriminalized all drugs. They stopped locking people up and being punitive when it came to drugs. And they started treating it like a medical issue. Oh, you're addicted? Okay, we're going to have treatment for you. We're going to treat you like a human being, not lock you in a cage or kill you as a result of, this issue that you have. Man, he is so bad. Holy fuck. Holy shit. He really is the Fox News president. That's what he is. Your fucking uncle at the Thanksgiving dinner table who's never seen a conservative argument he didn't instantly fall in love with. Your Rush Limbaugh fan, Sean Hannity fan, uncle. That's Donald Trump is that guy. That's who he is. And it's really sad. He doesn't know how to think definitely has a low IQ, and he's just, his arguments are so flippant and so like, this is what I think. Here, let me tell you, maybe kill him. Just kill him. Fucking kill him. God damn it, man. Holy shit. I can't, this is so immoral and so unethical and so ridiculous and totally indefensible. And if you're somebody who looks at this and you agree with him or you think it's not as bad as you're saying, Kyle, fuck you. Because you're wrong. And on some level, you have to know that you're wrong. How many lives have been ruined already because of the drug war? And he wants to make it worse. He wants to potentially kill people for selling drugs. Even though I just spoke for over 10 minutes, I think I'm at a loss for words